Okay, boys, here's the plan. I have Tuesday and Thursday off, as well as Sunday, but the market is closed Sunday. And so I've been trading the cash session Tuesday and Thursday. Doesn't make sense for me to trade the pre-market and the cash session. The cash session 2 days a week, and the pre-market 5 days a week. We're just gonna do all pre-market and build a schedule around there. So I'm gonna scratch Tuesday, Thursday off and just work during those days and trade the pre-market from 3:30 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning up until 9:30, go to work, come home, go to bed at 7:30 or 8, and we'll do that over again. I have tape from the day I went negative 1,700, but it's so bad, it's not even worth looking at. I basically went on tilt for no reason, and I can't glean any information from it. Well, I definitely can, but it's just not worth the time or the investment. So we'll leave it at that and watch the 10-hour instead. So we're building out a balance area at 42.25s. We sell off, and then I place a bid in the NQ on accident, and it's just incredibly slow, which is fine. We're building out this balance area and holding value. 43.25s would be a good place to long. VPOC shifts and they push high of day. Volume sustains, which is bullish, and then they sell off back to VPOC. I'm looking for 43.25s now. I don't think I have any trades here. No. I miss. Yeah. We're at the low end of the distribution now at 41, filling out value. Sells off, just forming balance down there. We rally back to the highs. Okay, there's one trade. I'm chasing VPOC, which is retarded. That trade shouldn't exist, and it was a deserved scratch. That's a much better one, but it should be done by 42.50. See some upticking, some more upticking, and then a seller steps in at 44. Time to get out at one tick. Yep. And then a flip short at the area where it should be long. 8:17 in the morning. Maybe I'm kind of groggy. Should be long because we're still in the value area, and it would have to be below 42 evens for me to look for shorts, I think. We form, and this is a trade back at VPOC. I'm probably just watching the tape, and that's how these bad trades are manifesting. Uh, but frankly, for the bad entries are managed pretty well. I'm only taking one or two tick losses, and then I chase at 42.50, which is good. That's what I should do. And then I short at VPOC, which makes me uncomfortable. And tape just sits there, which is bullish, and they explode higher. And then they sell off. I would have expected them to explode higher, but they stopped at 45.75. So this is really uh, just really poor pre-market trading. Is what's going on here. Okay, let's see the breakout then. I'm back to 46 evens. There's really not much liquidity there. Tape stops. Some down ticking again. Still no liquidity. 46 evens and 45 50s. 28, 41, 13, 3 and 6, 53. Okay, and tape just sits there instead of moving lower because it should move lower at 46 evens because it's the value area high and we're looking for reversion, but instead it just sits and stacks. They trade 65 at 46.25, and then a buyer steps in. Liquidity dries up at 47.50, and then they sell off. This looks like a round trip. Now I'm playing trees don't grow to the sky. I should have realistically scratched around 41.50. Yeah. And then the auction shifts slower for a little bit and then they sell off. Mm, we come back and fatten the distribution. And I get antsy and take a long at high of day. So these are just poor entries. And then I flip short on, what should be a trade. Now I'm just chasing and scratching, which is pretty good. That's a bad trade. Yeah. Well, that's terrible. Could flip short. I can see that. Yeah. And then walk it down to 46. They fattened out the distribution. They have to lose 48 evens. They rallied, held through. They're sitting there now. Good break even because they sat on 48 evens again. A re-entry and a scratch on buy side. So really just a strange area to trade. Um, you'd have to trade that from the short side looking for a version down to 46 even out of the LVN, low volume nodes. Um, but the market was simply just building balance in that area, probably to break up in the future. So that's really not bad management. Here's the rest of the tape. Another short. So yeah, but then I cut it too early by the looks of it. Another short sitting on the ask and then a jump lower on the sell side. So that trade was working in my favor before I scratched it. Huh. Then a long, little preemptive long jump from buyers, rally in my favor. Then a short back to okay, all right. And this is still in pre-market. Oh no, it's not. More mean reversion at 41.75, and then more mean. Oh, breakout this time, which is good because there's upticking from buyers. Get out now because the upticking's gone. Yeah, more upticking. They've stopped. And then I switch to sell, and she goes without me. A breakout to the same area again. So I'm reading the tape here, irrespective of the profile area. And NASDAQ is throwing it higher. Tape ES refuses to get above 47.25, and she breaks down lower again. It's time to get out of 46.75. Hold it. I wish I could, like, I'm contemplating retracting my statement, but I think I'll let it hang. What probably went through my mind is that we hit 46.75 four times. So we were obviously building value to break out. And that's why I was trying that trade over and over again. Now I'm just trailing the Nasdaq in the high of day. Would get out. Yeah, and I want to see ES push high of day. Yeah, and some back ticking. Time to get out. That was a beautiful trade. Wow. and then the flip short to 50.75. There's an auction there. Time to get out. Of strength. The tape has gotten sticky at the value area from 51.75 to 52.75. Okay, they broke the floor now. Yeah. Immediate scratch on upticking. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to get through all of this. Maker's walking it up. Good short. Good scratch. I mean, could sell lower. Should get out here because of the jump in the tape. They pulled liquidity. There's an auction there now between 50.25 and 51.25. Yeah, set a break even. Good job. And the auction shifting lower on 50 evens, which is really good. In that thin spot, it looks like they're just going to stair step it lower. Some back ticking now. There really wasn't a lot to pull out of that trade. You either had to be in it for down to 46.25s, or you just had to take the loss and break even. Maybe watch for a re-entry. I flipped long at the center of this retarded. Oh, that's so annoying. So I just gave money away, and then I got whipsawed and price rallied. And now I'm kind of losing it. I've been around since maybe 6, so I've been watching the market for 4 hours, and I'm falling apart. I took a long, like wherever that was, 50.50 or 52.25, and then I flipped short, expecting the immediate bleed down from the balance area, which is fine. It's an alright trade. I prefer to have better ones, but then it jumps 4 or 5 ticks in the opposite direction, and instead of scratching immediately, I let it run. I think that's where my loss for today came from. Was I employed a hope and pray strategy. Like here, I should get out. Like even 2 ticks and the floor being established at 48.50, which is behind my stop. And I flip long at this toothy, nonsensical part of the profile. Realistically, the area to trade would be 50.75 and 51 evens, and then down to like a reversion between 47.50 and 47.25. And the center distribution between that should really be ignored. I'm trying to catch the tape here. Okay, it works. We see some upticking and then a sell off. Okay, we come off of 50.75 and then just hit 48.50s and 49 evens again and again, like this. Just sitting there for 30 seconds. 49, 48.50, a down tick. Jump from buyers, got up to 49.50 now. 49.50 again. Sold off 48.50. Oh, my short's open here. I didn't even notice. I played the note at 48.50. That nonsensical buy may have been a breakout front run type entry. Like right here, if I was playing the break of 48.50, maybe my ask should be at like 49.50 in the center of the balance. We're done to VPOC now. That's really all I could ask for. See response from buyers, and they got out on buyers. That looked great. And then comes another like little market maker scalp, and like 1,000 of those little death by paper cut trades. Long 44 evens, 43.75. Right. Good that I'm not trading here because where it'd be um of a strange, yeah, that's a pretty poor area to trade. And I got out right there because they sold to because somebody plunged 223 at 46 even on buy side, which normally results in price exploding to the upside, but instead they just traded it and it sold lower, which tells me the market is bearish. And so I flipped short off of 223s. Now I'm holding like a 100 million to Quinter or whatever at 41.7. I'm gonna sneeze again. Okay, that's enough. I have to go to bed. 30, 31.20. That's where the tape stops. Pick up. 31.20 is where we left off. A short away from value, turn in my favor, and then the back ticking, time to get out. And I refuse to get out there, and it goes against me. And then a flip long, right? Get out of there. And then a flip short. So good scratch, and then a flip long and immediate loss. Flip short again, an immediate loss, and then a flip long. So just off of that, 3 minutes in, this is I don't want to call it over trading. It's definitely feasible, but typically, anytime I do that, I just dig myself into a hole. So I'd still hold this trade. There's some back ticking now. I'd get out. Okay, we ran the distribution. That's good. And then a flip short early, and then letting it run against my favor. Let me just see where I entered short. There at 46, the seller steps in, and then and the auction shifts at 47.25. The seller steps in again, and they use 47 evens as the floor, and then they plunge off of 47.50. Time to get out. And it rallies off of that. I think it comes back to the distribution. I try short again at the same area, and then I scratch, presumably, and then we sell off. And I try short again. So I'm just getting whipsawed from poor entries. Then I flip long. I get short again, and it blows me out. I get short high of day, and value's building there. Good scratch. Good long. They push high of day, I scratch and flip short. I close and flip short, I mean. Fill me and they sell off. +2. I'm long at the highs, which is risky. Good scratch. And then I flip long, and they sell off. So that's pretty ugly. 52s. Some upticking and then a scratch on the explosion. I'm just letting these trades go too far against me. Tape stops there. I get out. -1. 54. Get out there. Good. -1 again. Short. Get out now. Yep. They sit on the bid. Sit on the ask. They're sitting on it still. Auction shifts. That's fine. Keep it. So liquidity higher. No, should have held the trade. Now get out. We're building value here. Looking back on this tape now, I'll say what I'm thinking in a minute. Let's just cut through the tape. This is a hope and pray trade. Market orders. We get market orders at 48.50, but we've traversed the entire value area. It's kind of a scalp home run, and I'm not really bent on those. I don't like those at all. And I kind of became privy to trading off of the profile because of these hope and pray trades. And that caught me in a lot of hot water. I'm frankly not interested in them. You see me move my stop lower thinking, oh, it'll go, it'll go. That's not how scalping works, is to extend it and do a swing trade on the ladder. Um, really gross. Should get out right there because there's a jump from buyers and somebody got absorbed. They're forming a little auction now. They sell off in VPOC shifts, which tells me the majority of the volume is down there. Okay, I got out. Congratulations, caught the entire LVN, right? Yeah, but then my equity curve becomes me trying to catch the home run trade over and over again. It's just so bad because it's not. I'm supposed to trade off the flow, right? Ugh. Sorry, I'm just thinking I should be fast forwarding through this tape. I just don't agree with my trading anymore because it's like a longer time frame scalping. I was thinking about the fees, and the fees are totally feasible. You know, it's 12.50 a tick, and the fees are maybe 280 or 470. So what is that? 12.50 times 3 is 37, and then like 537.5 times 100. It's about 10% for 3 ticks, 14%, which is definitely possible. I don't agree with my form of trading. I much rather would prefer to scalp. So what's going on here is I'm gonna have to readjust my trading and get in through limits and get out through limits and have a position scaler. And then these little ticks like that, that would be a long. You get out there. If it ticks again, it's ticking down now, so stay away. Like it's ticking down, so get short. And then it explodes, get out there, and it's ticking up, don't touch it. Maybe wait for 40s, maybe not. Then it upticks again, get long on that. It stops, liquidity dries up. Get short here, doesn't fill you, move lower. Okay, moves lower again. We're sitting on the asks now, flip short. They offer lower, get out there, right? Holy moly, but it's 7:19. I have to go to bed at 7:30. We'll cut at 1:10:11. 12:02:09:32:084. Let me take a picture of it. One ten 11. Okay, one short, tape stops. This is just too fast for me to read uh, off the flow. I'm just watching the tape flicker back and forth. That's why I don't trade regular hours anymore. Sellers are absorbed there. They walk higher. Buyer shows up. Seller shows up again. So they're defending the level. I think we move lower off of it. Yeah, we do. And then I scratch. I get in again. You walk down. Liquidity dries up there. And then there's back taking. A little bit of buyers, and the auction shifts. It would be time to get out. Yep. And then price explodes. A buyer steps in. Then we cross the spread. Then we cross the value area, I meant to say. I get short here. Sellers look like they stop. Tape stops there. Some upticking from buyers. Buyers step in. So now would be the time to get out because I'm basically hoping and praying now that this trade holds. And they get down to 51s. I flip long there. Seller gets absorbed at 55 evens. Buyers throw 55 50s. Big auction here. 1057. They get absorbed at 55 50 evens. Buyers do. We ladder down now. There's some upticking. Looks like buy side. Liquidity dries up. Buyer gets absorbed there. Huge again. So there might be a berg there. And we rally higher. Where did I scratch it? Funny that all these trades look like winners in the periphery, but the returns are almost always negative. Death by paper cut, I suppose. 44. Short at the edge of the profile. Too much upticking for me, though. I think it's going to go here in a minute. 44. Buyer gets absorbed. More upticking. Seller shows up. Time to get out. Even though I wasn't in the trade. And then I preemptively trade the breakout here by putting my position there, and they run up against me. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Nope. Another short here. Another short here crossing the LBN. That bid's pulled. They move down to VPOC, past VPOC. I catch the whole distribution. Another short. I'll finish this, but it doesn't benefit me to review this anymore because I'm not going to trade cash anymore. I'm just going to trade pre-market and change my style. Another short there. Tape jumps, get out, tape stops. They run it higher. Speed of tape picks up. They rally in the opposite direction after closing the short. Tape stops, some upticking. I get long here. Buyer shows up, pushing prices higher. Tape explodes to the low side, but appears to be absorbed, and we hold that level. And then it explodes to the upside. An aggressive buyer steps in, pushing it back to 36.75, the low of the value area. We build out a distribution and sell lower. I'm not going to review anything else. We have 12, 03, what's 04? This is post market where my price exploded, I think. 9:30, same. 12:04. 12:04 again is me trading. Man, nah, you know what I'm saying. This one was good. I just reviewed it. I'm uploading it right now. The rest, I'm just gonna compile these two and post it.